Hello, we're back again. Happy Monday. It's Stigma-Free Learning Live Monday. I feel like every time I say it, I'm announcing it like it's a holiday. It's just, we're doing it again. We're here, we're back. It's Monday. I feel like it's been consistent now for a few weeks with this live event, and that feels really good to be getting this out to you consistently and showing you the toolkit a little bit more consistently. I hope that you're finding this little exploration of the toolkit in a different way helpful. I felt like the lesson plans were getting a little bit redundant, so I'm glad to be taking a bit of a hiatus from that. Again, I will be doing a different section of the toolkit today, but I think next time we will hop back into doing another lesson. So wow, lots of rambling before I even really said hello or introduced myself in this live event. So my apologies for that. I feel like I jumped in like assuming that everyone knew what was going on and has been here before and has heard my spiels before. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to jump back to the beginning and say hello and welcome to Stigma-Free Learning Live with the Stigma-Free Society. If you are new to this live event, it is so great to have you here. My name is Samara Liberman, and I am the Programs Manager for Stigma-Free. And if you aren't new to this live event, then you've heard me say what I'm about to say about a million times. So my sincerest apologies for that. But I always do want to make sure that I am introducing this event as thoroughly as possible each time on the off chance that there's some new viewership. So everyone feels that we're on the same playing field, knowing what's going on here, knowing who I am, knowing who SFS is. So before I jump into the content of today's event, I'm going to again share a little bit about me, share a little bit about Stigma-Free, and then we'll start talking about the Student Mental Health Toolkit and the resources I'm going to be sharing with you today. So start with a little bit more about me. So the gender pronouns that I use are she and her, in case you were wondering. And I have been the programs manager at the Stigma-Free Society for over 2 years now. Before that, I dabbled in a lot of different things professionally. But my education background is I have a bachelor's degree in equity studies, I have a master's in teaching, and I have a professional development certification in early years mental health. And then kind of my professional endeavors have always kind of been in the realm of working with young people. So I've been a camp counselor, I've worked at after school programs, I've worked at a Montessori school, lots of different things, lots of things related to young people. Fun fact, I was also a dog walker for a time. If you want to learn a little bit more about me, I'm a big dog fan. You've seen, I had a dog on my live event once, a friend of mine I was fostering. Her dog's name is Foster. I was looking after her dog for a time, and that's a big passion of mine, is dogs and animals in general and nature. So there's a little fun fact for you about me on this Monday. You can tell it's a Monday because the brain juices aren't really flowing yet. Anyway, Stigma-Free Society. So SFS is a Canadian registered charity. We've been in existence since 2010. We started as the Bipolar Disorder Society. So I've said this in a few live events recently, but I just kind of want to reiterate because this is kind of the foundation of where the society started, where the organization started, and it also really leads in well to the topic that we're covering today. So we started as an organization based on Andrea's personal lived experience with bipolar disorder. As I mentioned, we started as the Bipolar Disorder Society and then pivoted to becoming the Stigma-Free Society. So looking at mental health challenges and mental illness and all that stuff that's outside of just bipolar disorder. So kind of expanding the breadth of the content that we look at in conjunction with mental health and kind of on that topic. And now we also look at stigmas of other kinds. So lots of other stigmas and the way that they intersect with mental health. So we are an organization founded on people's stories and their lived experience. I talked about this quite at length when I was going through the virtual Stigma-Free presentations program, which is an incredible program that we offer at SFS. But that also relates to what I'm going to be talking about today. So I think that's enough little rambling and preamble. Today, I'm going to show you the inspiring story section of the Student Mental Health Toolkit. So I'm going to share my screen. And, wait a minute. There we go. I couldn't see the screen. You could see the screen, but I couldn't see the screen. We can all see the screen. Anyway, so this is the Student Mental Health Toolkit. You've now seen me show you this a few times, but I think it really helps to kind of show you from base level where things are, because there is a lot to the toolkit. So I want to make sure that you're finding the things that I'm talking about. So I always click on the youth side first, but today we're going to go into the teen side. Not that it really matters. This content is the same on both sides of the toolkit, but my tendency is always to go left. So I'm going right today. So as you'll see here, we have all of our very handy blocks that take you into the different sections of the toolkit. And today we are going to be looking at inspiring stories. So the main reason I'm showing you this is to, first of all, highlight the section of the toolkit, as that is not something I have done to this point, but also because we are currently looking for new inspiring stories. We are always looking for people to share a bit about themselves, share what they've been through, share their lived experience with us and with our audiences. So one way of doing that is our presenters sharing their lived experience in the virtual Stigma-Free Presentations program. We're not doing an intake of new presenters at this time, but if you are interested in applying, you can always send your resume to us and we will keep it on file for the next time we do some hiring for that. But in the meantime, if you do want to share your story and you want to kind of get the word out there for what you want to talk about, this is a really great way of doing that. It is a volunteer opportunity, so you are not paid to do this, whereas our presenters are paid. But this won't take a lot of time, and it's a really great way to share a little bit about yourself, share what you've been through, share a message of hope with young people. So if that's something you're interested in on kind of the short term, this is a really great way to do that. So as I scroll down here, you will see, so welcome to the Inspiring Stories section. Scroll down to watch some truly amazing videos where people share their personal stories about mental health or facing stigma. The Stigma-Free Society believes that by sharing our stories and being open about our struggles, we can eliminate stigma that exists in our communities, whether in person or online. As teens, parents, and educators, we can all work together to be stigma-free. So educators, share these stories with your students to inspire them and help them understand mental health and stigma a little bit better. So basically what these stories are they're like 3 to 4 minute, really quick little snippets of information. And it's people talking to camera and sharing their stories. So we have such an incredible array of people sharing about different things that they've gone through in their lives. Whether it's their mental illness, a mental health struggle that they've had, their experience dealing with being an immigrant, being part of the LGBTQ community. So many incredible stories, just people talking about what they've been through and how they have overcome struggles and barriers to accessing different things and experiencing different things. So there's a really great variety of stories here. So again, as it says in this little description, if you're an educator, this is a really great place for you to show your students stories of people who may look like them, who may have a similar lived experience to them, or conversely, people who look nothing like them and who have a very different lived experience to them. So by showing these stories to young people, it's a really great entry point to kind of overcoming the stigma that exists around certain conversations, by exposing them to different people's stories, by showing them that there's people out there who've been through similar things that they've been through, and kind of how they've overcome maybe the same challenges that these young people are experiencing. So again, lots of different ways to utilize this information. If you're a youth or a teen, this is a really great place for you to come and watch some incredible videos. Adults, I also recommend that you watch them. I feel like we can all learn so much from each other. And some of these videos are done by young people. So again, I think we have so much to learn from younger generations, and these are a really great place to start. So I'm just going to kind of show you what these look like. And, if you click here, you can submit your own story. So I'll show you that at the end. But then we've got all these incredible videos. So we have Genevieve sharing her story, Christiana, we've got Danae, we've got John. I have shared my own story here. Mike is one of our presenters who shares his lived experience. We've got Armand's story. So what this is essentially is just, it's a combination of videos. It's a bunch of people talking about their lived experience. So I'm going to show you one or two just so you get a sense of what we're looking at. So I'll show you Genevieve's because that's the first one on our list. Bear with me while it loads.
Hello, my name is Dr. Genevieve Burley, and I am a chiropractor. a fitness expert, a wellness expert, and a fitness instructor in Vancouver, BC, but I travel and teach all over the world. Right behind me is my dog, Lulu, who I think she'd like to talk about her mental health too, probably, if she could, but she can't talk. I'm here to talk to you today about my postpartum depression, which was the hardest thing I've ever been through and the greatest gift. So if you're watching this video and struggling right now, I wish I'd seen a video of a woman like me or a human like me that had gone to a place, and so you could have faith in your heart that you can be in a very different place later. I had pretty severe postpartum anxiety after the birth of my first daughter, Reese. She was a pretty traumatic birth, and it was interesting because they had given me medication at the hospital that I hadn't improved. And after I had her, it was very much a focus on, oh, you had a healthy baby, so nothing else matters. Your experience really didn't matter. And your experience in life matters, and it impacts how you feel. I ended up not having much sleep after I had her, probably for a couple of days, and getting an infection. And I think that really created all of those, a really good platform for a very nasty set of intrusive thoughts and anxiety to settle in for me. And I remember being in my bathtub at home and thinking, as I was vacant, as I was basically unable to string thoughts together or function at all as a human being, but still was doing it because I was in charge of an infant, that I could survive. I didn't have suicidal thoughts, but I definitely thought, this cannot continue for a long period of time, or I'm not going to make it. It took me a little bit of time to reach out for help, and I'm so glad I did, because postpartum is very common and it's very complicated. And I think mine would have been reduced a lot if I'd had someone tell me the thoughts that you're having are normal. They're intrusive thoughts. You're tired, you're anxious, you haven't slept. But my experience with postpartum depression really led me to understand that I'd lived a lifetime of being in a place of severe anxiety and not knowing that there were tools and ways to be in life that weren't always worried about every single thing, every single second, and kind of being governed by these thoughts and these worries all of the time. So my message to you is that going through any type of mental health challenge, and I say challenge, it's almost a joke to say challenge, mental health is a crisis, really, when it's not good. I would take physical pain any day. Reach out, open up your voice, go on websites like this where you can learn about it and you can understand that there are incredible humans on earth who have been through very, very tough things and want to share and open up what can be on the other side. Hope to talk to you more soon.
So that's one example of an incredible story about postpartum depression, postpartum mental health challenges, and also just like mental health in general. I feel like that was a really great way of weaving a very specific conversation into a much bigger conversation. So I'm going to show you one more before we wrap up for now. So I'll show you Armand's story.
Hi, my name is Armand Singh. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm currently working at UC Berkeley as an admin in their business school. My experience with mental health has been something that I really had to discover on my own. I am Punjabi, which is part of India, and in South Asian culture, in Indian culture in particular, we don't really talk about mental health at all. We kind of dismiss our pain and our feelings. And my first experience was when I went to college and I was going through this period where I was questioning my gender and sexuality, and I learned that therapy on campus is free. So I just, utilize that resource. And when my parents found out, they told me I can't go anymore. And I told them, okay, I won't go, but I ended up continuing my therapy sessions because it was helping. And I think ever since that, I've gone in and out of therapy with different therapists and stuff like that. But I think for my mental health particularly, it's been so helpful to have that kind of safe space and non-judgmental conversations where you really get to face things that we otherwise don't face. And I often hear people say that, oh, mental health therapy is not for everyone. I don't think so, that's true. I think therapy is for everybody. I know talking is not fun, but I feel like seeking help in a dialogue or conversation where you get to reflect on who you are and who you want to be and what you've been through is so necessary. I think therapy is for most people, more people than people like to admit, because as a world, we've been through so much trauma, whether we talk about wars, whether we talk about genocides, displacement, migration, separations, breakups, everyday struggle, going to work, trying to live in this capitalistic world where surviving is hard. These are all things that we go through and we push aside. And therapy allows us to face those things and process our feelings. And I feel like that's been necessary and life-changing for me. So I think my experience with mental health is honestly a journey, and I'm on it, and I think more people should commit to it. One message that I would like to share through this video is that go to therapy if you can find resources that are free, or if you have access, you have privilege to go to a therapist. I would definitely recommend even a peer support group. My message would be seek help if you need it. There's nothing to be ashamed about that, nothing at all. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for listening.
And there you have it, another really incredible story, a very different story to the one that we watched previously. So again, just wanted to show you the kind of range of people's experiences that we have in their inspiring stories. So as you'll see, so many here, they're all incredible. They've all been so inspirational to me. I've watched all of them, and I hope that you found some inspiration in the 2 videos that I showed you. I hope that you continue to explore this page. And I also hope that you click here, hold for page loading, so you can share your own story. So as you'll see here, we have a feedback, a form that you can submit to us. And when you submit this form, it gets straight to my email, and I will respond to you, and I will give you all the specifications for what the video can look like. And then boom, you're on the toolkit. So you'll put your name, you'll put your email so I can respond to you, and then you'll put why you want to do this. Like what is the purpose of you doing this? Like, why do you want to share your story? What story do you have to share? So 3 reasons why you like to share your story, and a message of hope with young people. And then this is just like a little consent button so that we know that we have your permission to share your story on the toolkit and on our social media pages. We want to make sure you're not a robot. Boom, it's all done. And then again, like I said, once you submit the form, I will receive that information, I will respond to you, and we'll get your video up. So that's it for the inspiring stories section of the Student Mental Health Toolkit. I really hope that you found that interesting and informative. I really encourage you to go and watch those videos, share them with people. If you have someone in your life who may have been going through something, maybe they have a similar experience to a video that you watch, share it with them. Or also share this opportunity with someone that you know. If you have a friend who really inspires you, or a family member, or somebody you think would make an incredible inspiring stories contributor, send them that link, send them to the toolkit. And I hope that we'll see some videos from you folks and from the people in your lives. So that's it for me today. It's going to be a bit of a shorter one, but I just really wanted to show you that resource and kind of do my plea so that we get more of those videos, as I think that they're a really incredible way to connect with young people. So that's it for me. I'll see you in 2 weeks, and until then.